9 people to Cameroon, despite many of them having U.S. court protections against such actions and none of them hailing from that African nation. According to reports, several of the men and women sent to Cameroon on a January 14th flight from Alexandria, Louisiana, and did not know their destination until they were put on a Department of Homeland Security flight and placed in handcuffs and chains. Meanwhile, Department of Homeland Security, the State Department, and Cameroon's Ministry of External Affairs have not responded yet. Even this Trump's administration has not announced any deal in which Cameroon agreed to accept deportees from other nations. Now we welcome back Mr. Sol Sadka. He's a political commentator, joins us live from Tel Aviv. Thank you very much, Mr. Sadka, for staying with us. Now, looking at this, what are the implications if, Cameroon decides that they are going to deport these people as it hasn't agreed? Then what? Are they going to be sent back to U.S. or somewhere else? What are we to make of this situation?
Well, it's unclear at the moment because details, we don't have any details. The U.S. government, as you noted, has not responded. If they're not U.S. citizens, I think it's implausible in the extreme that the United States will take them back. And Cameroon certainly doesn't have the wherewithal to force America to take them back. So that would rather be the end of that. What's very interesting here is the use by the American presidency of these powers, seemingly without precedent. But one can understand why they're doing this, because in theory they can, or in practice they're able to, even if it might be dubiously legal. And there don't seem to be the usual checks and balances on the executive branch at the moment, as imagined by the founding fathers, to prevent it in practical terms. And that might be simply because the people functioning within the administration are not wary about technically doing things that are illegal or beyond the remit of what they're allowed to do within the justice system, because they expect that after their term is up, they will be pardoned for anything they might have done during their actions. And that puts America really in a very dangerous position, because it means that in future, anyone working inside the American executive branch can feel comfortable breaking the law and doing things that don't match up with the Constitution freely, with the understanding that at the end of their employment there, they will be automatically pardoned. And some of this has to be blamed on Biden, who, if you recall, on his last hour in office on the 20th of January 2025, pretty much pardoned anyone who was related to him. And that really gave the incoming president the carte blanche to do the same. And once that's understood, you can really understand why the people in the current administration might not be too worried about doing things that are obviously, clearly unconstitutional. It's an unusual time, and we can understand why the Trump administration is doing it as well, because they have an election coming up in 7 or 8 months. And the main thing that the people in America that voted for them want is they want to see America's immigration system brought under control, and deporting people, particularly when they're deporting people in conflict with the justice system, makes them look good in the eyes of their poor vote.
Right. And can you highlight the differences of immigration and their stance towards these people of Trump's and Biden's administration?
Well, the immigration levels under Biden were extremely high. Some millions of people were coming in every year through the southern border. And while the southern border is only reinforced in part, it is quite easy for the American authorities to seal the border, even in the parts where it's not walled up. And when Trump came in, although the wall has never really been built, the border security has been enforced such that people are no longer streaming over that border in significant numbers. If you remember, in the final year, 2024, of Biden's administration, there were continual pictures of large crowds of people on the Mexican border just walking into the United States, really in throngs. And that was a large part of the reason why Biden lost the election. Or rather, his successor, who was the woman who was supposed to succeed him, Kamala Harris rather, lost the election, is because her and her boss were considered incompetent in facing the immigration problem, which was a mainstream issue even for centrist Americans and even some on the left. If you could understand that even people on the working left in America would not appreciate a continual flow of cheap labor to compete with themselves.
With that, I'd like to thank Mr. Sadka for sharing that insight with us. Thank you very much. Now we move on to cricket. India